I'm going to be hosting a June solstice 2014 public teleconference. And my intent is to do a guided meditation where each person attending will have the opportunity to dissolve their current identity and move beyond that configuration. But I'd like to let you know that I'm also going to be talking about moving beyond the parameters of the experiment in consciousness on planet Earth, because that is the way the teleconference came into being. My personal experience of identity at this time is moving beyond an affiliation with the star system that I came from to help implement the experiment in consciousness on Earth. And for the past month or so, I have been looking at giving up that identity. And this has led me into uncharted territory, very uncharted territory. But that's my nature. The reason I am able to take on this adventure is because I am wired as a warrior. And a warrior has no fear about navigating places in consciousness. A warrior is aware that there is no place in consciousness that can hurt us. It's just the universe. And if approached from the vantage point of the universal self, it's just navigating who we are. All aspects. It's just navigating the self with a capital S, the universal self. So at some point, 5 or 6 weeks ago, I decided I wanted to move beyond this identity of my affiliation with the Syrian High Council. And this really shook things up on the Syrian High Council. There was a period that I clocked of several days where there was hot debate about what this meant, because if that affiliation is thrown overboard, that means we move beyond the experiment in consciousness, the parameters. And it's like being a scientist in a laboratory, looking at a petri dish, and suddenly it takes a left-hand turn, and there's something unexpected happening that the scientist has not anticipated. So, depending upon the type of scientist conducting the experiment, one of two things happens. Either the scientist closes his or her mind and says, well, that's not possible. There is something wrong with the experiment, and I'm going to throw out the experiment and start again. Or, if the scientist is Einstein, with an open mind, then he says, this opens up a whole new realm of possibility. And I'm not suggesting that I'm the only one looking at this, or the only one to ever push beyond the parameters of the experiment in consciousness. I feel there are others, I hope there are others, and my aim is to make sure that there are many others doing the same, because it's time. It feels to me that the veils are parting, you might say, to allow us access beyond the parameters of the experiment in consciousness at this stage. It's my perception that that's a new development, and that this is why it's surfacing in consciousness for me. And I became aware that someone was in my awareness field clocking what was happening, observing what was happening 24/7. And when I finally got to the bottom of who that was, it ends up that it's a representative sent by the Syrian High Council to monitor this expansion beyond the parameters of the experiment in consciousness. But I had the sense that this person was reporting back to. And the question arose, reporting back to who or what? And certainly they are reporting back to the Syrians, but it goes beyond that. And what I'm feeling today, the term that arose in my meditation was prime creator. And I'm not even sure how other people define that. But let me see if I can describe the energetics I'm tapping into. If you take the prime source of creation, when it begins to move out of nothingness, it's just pure scintillating light. It holds within it all possibilities. And those possibilities are perceived by this embodiment as scintillating light. And if you take that one step further into manifestation, that manifests as different essences of light, and now suddenly we have a little more form. That's what's being reported back to, if that makes any sense. If you evolve those energies further, they develop into something that is more form, has more form, and is able to conceive of an experiment in consciousness, for example. If you manifest it a little bit further, there's a handoff to the ability to design an experiment in consciousness. If it comes into more form, there's the ability to architect an experiment in consciousness. And ultimately, it gets handed off to the Syrians, who can implement an experiment in consciousness. And at some stage along the way, there was a call out to the various star systems with an announcement. There is an experiment in consciousness, and a solicitation for skill sets and DNA and input and personnel and all kinds of things. And those things came together in terms of the personnel on Sirius. That was boot camp. And it was like a stop on the train station. And from that station, we came in, many of us came in to implement the experiment in consciousness. So this is something that's evolving and I'm looking at, and we have 1 week to go before the solstice. I know it's evolving and being looked at because we are now in the window of the solstice. So if this subject matter interests you, we'll be delving into it more this coming Saturday, the 21st, June 21st, 2014, at 9 o'clock California time. Perhaps you'd like to join us.